Day by day!
Day by day!
We get stronger and stronger!
We get stronger and stronger!
Till we can't be beat!
Till we can't be beat!
Till we won't be beat!
Till we won't be beat!
We know the road!
We know the road!
It's gonna be tough!
It's gonna be tough!
So when we win! It won't be by luck!
It won't be by luck!
Amen, guys! Let's go! 1, 2, 3, Cougars!
As we welcome you back to Chatham-Kent Cougars football on your TV. Mike Renier along with James Clark. Jeff Brooks on the camera, and we are back for the Bantam Division football. And the Bantams coming in at 0-1 here this weekend, taking on the Oakville Titans. And James, they want to kind of get back on track with a win here this afternoon.
Yeah, last Saturday the Bantams had a tough go, and they got hit by the injury bug early. 2 or 3 key players go down, and the score was pretty one-sided. And they've had a full week of practice, and they do have some great athletes over there. It's just a matter if they're healthy enough and they got the right blend. And we'll see what they can do today against Oakville and get things back on track.
And Oakville kind of in the same boat. They didn't have a good week 1 either, so this might be, hopefully this will be a good football game and maybe evenly matched. We'll have to see.
At the end of the day, one of these teams is going to have at least a 500 record. And
the other won't. That's the best way to put it. The Cougars will get the football to begin the second half, so they won the toss.
Cougars chose to kick off here and hopefully pin the Oakville deep in the first series and go from there. But we are ready to play some football here. The weather has cleared up nicely for us, Mike. We had a couple of nice thunderstorms roll through earlier for the Pee Wee game, and now we're just over a little bit of cloud. A nice cool Sunday afternoon at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, and the Cougars are ready to play some football.
Yep, started out warm, muggy, and sunny. Now it's none of those things. Overcast and a cool afternoon.
It's a great combination for football.
It certainly is. Bantam's underway here. The Cougars kicking off to the Oakville Titans as they receive the football around the 30-yard line, trying to look for a seam up the middle, but a good job by the Cougars coverage and not allowing Oakville to get to the 35-yard line. So a nice pin fairly deep in their own territory. Good job by the Cougars on special teams.
Yeah, it looked like Jonathan Sanderson made the big stop for the Cougars there. Oakville took the opening kickoff and bobbled it and had nowhere to run once he picked it back up with a swarm of Cougars coming after him.
So 1st and 10 for Oakville. And they will keep it on the ground. Good job by the Cougars D. They saw that one right from the get-go. And they'll drop the Titans back for a loss of a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Yeah, Cougars were definitely not fooled by that fake end around. It was just a straight dive up the middle, and the Cougars were there to receive their running back with open arms.
Loving open arms. Nicely underway. 2nd down and 12 now for Oakville. They drop back to pass, looking downfield along that far side. It is a reception and a good gain here for the Titans. That's going to be enough for the 1st down as they get about 13 on that play, so enough to move the chains past the 45-yard line.
It looked like number 24, Alec Phillips, for the Titans, bringing in that reception. Gain of about 10 yards, like you say, so Oakville showing they're going to run and pass a little bit. Pretty straight offense there. Quarterback right behind the center, and 2 running backs in the backfield. So pretty standard offensive look for the Titans.
Quarterback again handing it off to Phillips, who has a little bit of room down that far side and past the 50-yard line. Quarterback Christopher Johnstone for the Titans.
So the Titans have shown 3 plays, and all 3 of them have featured number 24, Alec Phillips. So it looks like he may be their feature player of the day. We might want to keep an eye on number 24 for the Titans.
Gain of about 4.5, right at the 50-yard line of the Titans. Johnstone again. This time he's looking downfield. He's got a lot of pressure, and he will, still on his feet. Now finally he goes down. 2nd effort for the Cougars D-line, bringing down the quarterback Johnstone. And that's a big QB sack there for the Cougars.
Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 Cougars in the backfield on that for that quarterback. It looked like Braden Skaprap was the one who initially brought him down before he got some help from a few friends.
So third down and a long way back to the 44. About 13 yards to make up here to get to the first down for the Titans. Johnstone back to pass. And down that far side, it will fall well short of the intended receiver along that far sideline. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 14. So good job on this opening series by the D of the Cougars.
Cougars are going to force the Titans to come out and punt on their first possession here. And Cougars should get the ball in relatively good field position to start for their first offensive possession.
Good start for the Cougars D.
Number 24 for the Cougars as well is their key player. It's Corin Stewart. He does a little bit of everything offensively, defensively, and he's going to return this punt.
So 24 kicks off to 24, 45-yard line, 40-yard line, and a big.
We're gonna get a face mask tackle. Tackled on to the end of that play for an extra 15 yards. So with a great return to almost the 40 and another 15, going to put the Cougars down to about the 25-yard line to start this drive.
Good job by Stewart to bring it deep into Titan territory. And as James mentioned, another 15 on the face mask right when Stewart gets brought down on the end of that play. And an excellent field position for Chatham-Kent now as they will go on offense for the first time.
Yeah, watching last week, Corin Stewart was their featured player. He was their key tailback in the game, and he played on the defensive side of the ball as well. He was Mr. Do a little bit of everything there for him, and their success today is going to depend on what he's able to do.
We'll see what he's going to do here in this first drive for the Cougars. And the referee's now discussing that infraction. Ball brought to the 41-yard line off the kick, off the punt. And they're marching this one all the way down 15 yards. So that's about the 26 by my math. And actually further down than that. Wow.
Looks like there was more than one penalty on that play. And it looks like they've marched that more than to the 25-yard line. So,
wow, they're going to begin this from the, is that the 15 or the 16?
Cougars going to get great starting field position here.
From the 16-yard line, Malott Bennett under center for the Cougars. Here they go on offense. They hand it off to the running back right up the middle, still on his feet, to the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
What a great start by Corin Stewart, as we said. He rumbled through about 4 or 5 Titans to get in for that touchdown, and the fans in the stands here are going crazy.
Wow, one play, and what a rumble up the middle for Corin Stewart for the touchdown for Chatham-Kent. And you were singing his praises there, James, and however he goes, so go the Cougars. And if that's any indication of this football game, we could be seeing a good one for Chatham-Kent.
Absolutely. He electrified the fans here on that first drive. And I mean, he was guy got the ball on the punt return, got him down there, and then he was the guy who finished it off with a great touchdown run. So.
Nice run by Stewart. He gets the major score, 6-0 Cougars. 8:43 remaining in this first quarter.
Head coach Andrew Stewart looks like a genius giving the ball to Corin there on that play.
Certainly does. And the point after is up and through. It's 7-0 for the Cougars. Just like that, immediately at the start of that drive, and the Cougars are up by a touchdown.
The Cougars couldn't have asked for a better start to this game. A great defensive series, a nice punt return, great starting position, and a touchdown on one offensive play from scrimmage.
Everything's working in the opening 3.5 minutes of this game. Still long way to go, but
and as we said, like you just said, it's a long game. A lot of things can happen, and you got to keep pushing and keep working on everything you've done, and not rest on the fact that you scored first.
Everything working so far here, and now the Oakville Titans will get their second shot on offense. as the Cougars get ready to kick this one away, as Brendan Dodman will do the honors here.
Titans were a couple bodies short on the kick return. We're set now. Looks like we're ready to go.
Dodman with a strong boot line drive right to the 35-yard line, and that's as far as the return man Phillips is going to get. He caught that one line drive, and he wasn't able to get very far at all.
Great play by Joey Doxler to get down there quickly and prevent any return there.
So offense, defense, special teams looking charged up to begin this game for the Cougars. And right at the 35-yard line, again, the starting position for the offense for the Titans of Oakville.
Oakville looks like they got a little bit of size. You know, I would expect to see a little bit of run, but they go with an empty backfield here.
And now a little end around. Phillips gets the football, dodges around one defender. Now he slips on the turf, and there's a big loss for Oakville, and a big break there for the Cougars. A big loss as just slipping on the turf, and he was in trouble anyway, Alec Phillips.
The Titans look like, they come out there to empty backfield, and they run a little end around, and then they throw the razzle-dazzle with the reverse on there, and the Cougars weren't biting. They stayed home on the end, and I don't think he had anywhere to go before he fell down either way, Mike.
10-yard drop. It's 2nd and 20 for Oakville. Johnstone, the quarterback, drops back. A little slant pass along the near side and some room to move for the receiver, trying to get him down to the Cougars. Still on his feet at the 40, trying to march towards the first down marker. He'll be about 3 yards shy, but still a 17-yard pickup for Dominic Wilczynski, who had a very impressive run there for Oakville.
Yeah, that's a great play for Oakville there. Just run a little swing pass and try to get some positive yards, and he made a few things happen and got almost all of it back there. So 3rd and short now for the Titans as opposed to 2nd and 20. That's a big difference.
Not bad. 17-yard pickup on that pass play, and a good job by Wilczynski. Brings the football up to the 42-yard line. 4.5 into this football game. Cougars up 7-0. And now a little quarterback sneak up the middle trying to get the necessary yardage, and they will, and more, as they cross the 45-yard line to at least the 46, but that's more than enough for a first down for Oakville.
Yeah, again, it looks like Oakville has a little bit bigger lineman in the interior, and they were able to muscle their way for 3 or 4 yards there. So.
Oakville has the ball from the 47-yard line, first down.
Trying to answer the touchdown scored earlier on in this quarter by the Cougars. Oakville getting close to midfield. Quarterback Johnstone dropping back, and a short little dump pass along that far side. Once again, the Cougars swarming, and nowhere to go for Alec Phillips trying to break free, but the Cougars able to wrap him up. And a rather significant loss on that play. It looks like they're dropping about 7 yards, so another big job there by the D for Chatham-Kent.
Might be a play to watch, though. They threw that pass in the backfield, and it looked like he was going to try to turn around and pass that. Might be something they have in the books for later in the game. Something to keep an eye on with a little tailback pitch pass maybe coming out later. But if they can't get the time to get him around without it, they might be in trouble there.
2nd and 17 here for Oakville. And again, the quarterback, Johnstone, has the football. He elects to keep it, trying to find some space along the near side, trying to turn the corner, and he's finally caught up to at the 50-yard line by the Cougars' Corin Stewart, who was able to bring the quarterback down, but still a pretty nifty gain when you're faced by a 2nd and 17. He gains about 10 on that play.
Yeah, once the quarterback came around the outside, looked like he had a lot of room to run, but Corin Stewart did a great job of shutting it down and forcing him out of bounds with the big hit there.
Up to the 50-yard line, still in their own territory. Titans now 3rd and 7. They look to pass once again. Johnstone looks down the field, airs it out, and he's got his man who wraps the arms around the football, and he might be away to the races down that far sideline. Down to the end zone, touchdown for the Titans. Good job by Alec Phillips.
What a great play by Phillips. I don't know if you saw it from the far side there, but he made a great one-handed catch to take that ball, and then he got around the corner and he just sprinted down the field for the touchdown.
Good answer there for the Oakville Titans. John Stone to Phillips down the field, and it's now 7-6, and the Titans will try and tie things up here with 5:04 to go in the first quarter.
If the early play is any indication, it could be the battle of the number 24s today.
Absolutely, yeah. Phillips and Stewart certainly anchoring the offenses for both teams. And speaking of Phillips, can he make it a tie game? And looks like it was low.
Looks like the snap was not very good, and he wasn't able to get it down on time, and the kick ended up missing as a result. And the Cougars hang on to a slim 1-point lead.
That might be a bit of a break. We'll see if that comes to be a factor late in this football game. But a 1-point lead here for the Cougars, 7-6. But nonetheless,
extra points always come back to haunt you. If you look back to the last game, the Pee-wees, they went for it on their extra point every time missed. If they went and kicked the extra point, they tied the ball game.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. We'll see how that shakes down. But still an impressive touchdown drive there for the Titans. They're within one at 7-6. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Both offenses looking fairly good, fairly sharp early on.
it looks like Stewart and Morlog deep to receive the kickback here for the Cougars.
And Alex Kuna will be kicking this one away for the Oakville Titans. Oh, pardon me. That's 24 Phillips who boots it away. Good solid kick.
Stewart with the ball, looking for some room to run.
Trying to
He's
get around
got the edge.
Oh, good job. And he turns the corner down that far sideline, and finally he's caught up to just behind the 50-yard line. A flag comes flying out at around the 50.
It looks like the flag is going to go against the Cougars here, so the big run by Corin Stewart looks like it's going to get negated, and he's going to have to go back.
4:52 to go in the opening quarter.
See if they decide to back him up or force him to re-kick. Not sure where the penalty came in just yet, but they're going to back him up.
Yeah, and they're going to back him up significantly here as the Cougars are walking all the way back to around the 30-yard line.
So it looked like an illegal block by the Cougars right at the 50-yard line. So they're going to take them back to the 40-yard line here, and they're going to have some work to do here on this second drive there, Mr. Renier.
Yep. But all things considered, having the opening play on the 40 isn't too bad. It's still decent field position, but it could have been a lot better, and almost danger there as the ball gets fumbled a little bit, but falling on it was Malad Bennett,
Malad Bennett took the snap, and he pulled away a little bit quick before he got the ball and had to scramble and fall onto that ball to save the possession for the Cougars.
So losing a couple of yards on that play, so second down and 12 coming up now. Back to the 38-yard line of Chatham-Kent, and a 7-6 lead for the Cougars.
A stoppage of play from the officials. Looks like we got a blood timeout from number 1 from Brendan Norman and Kerr of the Cougars. We're going to a couple minutes delay here while the Cougars see if they can get them wrapped up.
Good
Gives
pace.
us an opportunity maybe to thank a few of our sponsors there, Mike.
Absolutely. Just what I was thinking there, Mr. James Clark. We want to thank, of course, the station you're watching right now, keeping us gainfully employed. And Rich, Your TV, truly local TV. So thanks to Your TV for bringing us back for yet another season.
And our friends over at EnviroClean Car and Dog Wash.
That's right. Great spot. 2 spots in Chatham-Kent to serve you at 336 Grand and 379 Park Avenue East in Chatham. Also, Campbell Toyota, Richmond Street in Chatham. Formosa's Pro Shop, your one-stop bowling shop, Kyle Drive South in Chatham. Kona Ice on Borrowman Drive. Swain Brothers, LaCroix Street, too, for all your key and key lock needs.
Get our friends over at Peach Physiotherapy and MP Roofing, also great sponsors of the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Evans Wholesale in there as well. Our friend Andrew Evans, who's had kids come up through the Cougar program, is over there at 75 Borrowman Drive, has been a great supporter of Cougar football right from the start.
MP Roofing and Siding, Sass Road in Chatham. Stanley Insurance, Scott Stanley and the folks over there at Stanley Insurance, Richmond Street, Chatham, and a great spot to get some pizza or panzerotti.
Quavada's Pizza. They can be hungry, Mike.
Oh, love those guys. St. Clair Street, 316 St. Clair. Quavada's and QVPizza.com. Off of that injury timeout, the blood timeout. Hopefully everything's going to be all right with Norman and Kerr.
Looks like he's coming back to the huddle, so the Cougars are ready to go. Norman and Kerr is all wrapped up and ready to play some football. And here we go, Mike.
4:12 to go in the opening quarter. 7-6 Cougar lead. Football at the 38-yard line of Chatham-Kent. 2nd and 12. The Cougars are faced with that as they keep it on the ground up the middle to grab about 5, maybe 6 yards on that run to the 45-yard line. And one of the workhorses on offense, Corin Stewart.
Yeah, get a positive gain. Looks like bringing up about a 3rd and 5 for the Cougars. A manageable distance to work from, and from 3rd and 5, you got a lot of options in the playbook to pass or run. So we'll see what the Cougars dial up on this play here.
Trying to keep some momentum going here, and the Cougars trying to answer back at the touchdown Oakville scored on their last possession. 3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line, and they fake the handoff, a pass play. It's caught along the near side, but nowhere to go. Brennan Norman and Kerr with the reception, but he was wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to leave the Cougars 5 yards shy of the first down.
That was Braden Odansky for the Titans making a great defensive play right at the line of scrimmage to prevent any gain from the Cougars there.
So 4th and 5 now for Chatham-Kent at their own 45-yard line as they...
Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here, Mike. I see quarterback coming back out, going back to the huddle with a play. So
an early bold move here in this first quarter. Football in their own territory, and here they're going to go for it. Milan Bennett will hand it off to the running back, trying to get the necessary yards. He will, and a whole lot more down that far side. He's away from everybody. It's going to be another Cougar touchdown.
What a great play call. 4th and 5 in your own end, and give it to your workhorse, Corin Stewart. Hit that hole with a full head of steam. He never looked back, and he just raced to the end zone.
Corin Stewart, second major score for the Cougars in this still young football game. And now it's 13-6 pending the extra point here for Chatham-Kent. And another big play for the Cougars.
Cougars must have saw something in that Titan defense. They thought they can go after there on 4th down, and they caught them off guard for sure.
Absolutely. Corin Stewart, a big run down the field.
After 4 carries, he's already well over 100 yards for the day, Mike.
That's more than impressive. Kick is up, and it is good for the Cougars. 14-6. They have the lead, and still 2:25 to go in this first quarter.
I tell you, from a week ago today, Mike, watching the Cougars play, they look like a whole different football team than what we saw in their season opener last week.
It was a tough one last week here at this football field behind CKSS, but so far it has been a complete 180 against this Oakville Titans team. 14-6 the lead for Chatham-Kent, and they're going to try and follow that up with a good defensive stand here after giving up the touchdown to the Titans the last time they had the football.
Defensive coordinators both might have their hands full today trying to stop number 24s.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, we've seen what a Corin Stewart has done so far, and we know what he's all about. But yeah, Alec Phillips, he's had a few big plays already in this young game too.
Yeah. A little bit of a pooch kick by the Cougars there, and picked up by number 42, big man, Mikako Clark from the Titans, and he rumbles for about 2 or 3 yards there.
Yeah, doesn't have a lot of room to get much progress there, and he's down at the 40. Good coverage by the Cougars.
But again, at the 40-yard line, not a horrible starting field position by any means.
So good coverage for Chatham-Kent. And, yeah, as you mentioned, I'm sure the Titans are okay with how they're going to start this drive. Down by 8 to the Cougars.
Yeah, if you told me as a coach I could start every possession at the 40-yard line, I'd be pretty happy with that.
It's okay, yeah. That is okay. And here come the Titans now. And now a little end-around action and a reverse along that far side. Speaking of the 24s, along that far side, still on his feet, midfield, just shy of midfield, Alec Phillips gets wrapped up at around the 53, maybe the 54-yard line.
Got about 14 yards on the play. He did fumble the ball at the end of the play, but he was fortunate to pull it back in, and the Titans are going to get the first down and maintain possession here. So.
Oakville has the ball at their own 53-yard line. First down, Titans.
Yeah, we've seen both offenses look pretty impressive so far in this game. Minute 30 left to go in the first quarter, and a 14-6 Cougar lead.
Could be a last man standing kind of deal today if the offenses keep slugging it out here.
We could see some high numbers on the scoreboard by the fourth quarter. Johnstone back to pass it, and a little swing pass along that far side, and good job by the Cougar D, although still on his feet. Not giving up to the last moment was Alec Phillips.
That's the same play they went to the last drive, and they lost about the same amount of yards on it. I'm thinking the coach might pull that one out of the book when they're getting minus 7 yards every time they run that play.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to their own 45-yard line. And this sets up second down and a long way to go here for Oakville. About 17 to go here. Maybe more than that.
Yeah, 2nd and 17 is a long distance to work with as an offense.
But both offenses probably can handle this. We've seen
shown the little swing pass the last time. They're going exactly back to the same play that they ran last time they were pinned here. The Cougars are not fooled, but we are going to get a horse collar tackle by number 11 from the Cougars, Joey Doxter, who was in position to make a great play, but he ended up pulling the shoulder pads and jersey from behind of the Titan player, and he's going to get that penalty, and that's going to give Oakville a first down.
That is unfortunate.
What would have been 3rd and 20 yards is going to be now 1st and 10. So that's a big play for the Titans.
Yeah, that could be a big swing in favor of Oakville as they dig themselves out of that giant hole. That UR penalty against Doxtater and the Cougars brings the football inside the 50-yard line of the Cougars.
It's unfortunate for the Cougars. He was in position to make a great play and just ended up grabbing the jersey and the shoulder pads from the wrong spot and cost the Cougars giving up the first down.
We'll have to just regroup on D here. Titans back on offense, all the way back to their own 50, and another big play on defense.
And that's Doxter again making up for his last penalty. He says he's back there making a great defensive play and forcing the Titans to go back on that play. It looks like it's going to be like 2nd and 22 now, and we're going to see the last play of the first quarter here,
So
Mike.
Doxtater made amends immediately as he wraps up his man back to the 49-yard line. Back into Titan territory here.
They always say with quarterbacks, if you throw an interception, you have to have a short memory. With defensive players, when you take a penalty or you miss a tackle, you also have to have that short memory and come out the next play and just get it done. And that's exactly what Doxtater did there.
Exactly. 2nd down and 22 here for Oakville. Johnstone back to pass up the middle. He's got a man, and he's got a reception past the 40-yard line on 2nd and 22. And that is a first down for Oakville. What a pass play up the middle.
They're going to say it's a completion. Looked like that ball came out as he hit the ground, but the official right on the spot there is going to say it's a completion. That's going to be a first down for the Titans.
What a big offensive play there for Johnstone and company. Inside the 40. And we're now heading into the second quarter. What a way to end off quarter number 1 with that play and an entertaining first stanza.
Absolutely. If you like offensive football, you're in the right place for this game, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. A 14-6 lead for the Cougars after the first quarter. Teams will swap sides of the field, James.
We've seen some big run plays here. We saw a couple nice passes. And so we've seen a little bit of everything early from the offensive side. And we'll see what Oakville has dialed up to start the second quarter, see if they can tie this game up or get back in it here, down 14-6 for the start.
Yep, a very entertaining football game through one quarter. We've swapped sides here. And the Titans back to work offensively, 1st and 10. Hand off to the running back who tries to find a slot up the middle, but that time nowhere to go for Alec Phillips. Good job by the front line and defense of the Cougars.
Yeah, Phillips, that was the first time that he's ran right up the middle, and the middle of that Cougar defense looks pretty stout. Might be tough to run in the middle on him. Better opportunities bouncing it outside, so I'm not sure he'll want to run right back up against the heart of that defense again.
That was actually a 1-yard loss for Phillips. 2nd and 11 for Oakville. Johnstone's got the ball looking down the field. He rolls off to his left, still looking down the field, still has it. And he evades one tackle, but not that second guy, and he doesn't get to the 40-yard line. So, again, a loss of 3 yards maybe on that play, 2 or 3 it appears that they drop some yardage again. So 3rd and long coming up here for Oakville.
Looks like Corin Stewart came in to get the sack on the quarterback on that play, bring up 3rd and long like you said. So, again, Corin Stewart is being a factor on both sides of the ball.
He's making a good case for game MVP. It's still very, very early in this game, but, yeah. Both sides of the ball for the Cougars 24. Both 24s impressive at the start of this game. Johnstone back to pass, and now a little razzle-dazzle speaking of the 24. And, it goes out of the hands of the intended receiver, Connor McKinnon, along the near side. That could have been a huge gain for Oakville, but it works in the Cougars' favor as McKinnon just could not haul that one in.
Yeah, looked like we called that play earlier, Mike. They were setting it up with that little screen pass to the right, and looked like the tailback wanted to pass a couple times. That time he did, and there was no defender out there. They bit on it hard, and fortunately for the Cougars, he couldn't reel it in, or it was a touchdown. Our head official down there on the field, Mr. Nathan Dolson, is calling the team saying, let's get this timeout going. Let's get the play back underway here. Coaches are off the field now. We're ready to play some football again.
Pretty significant breeze out there. From the 41-yard line of the Cougars, going for it on 4th down. Here's Johnstone dropping back to pass, surveying the field downfield. Now he's got a lot of pressure on him.
Trouble.
He is in trouble. Johnstone trying to get the ball away. He does. Wobbly football, and it will fall on the turf at the 20-yard line. Incomplete. No flags. There's a turnover on downs. And the Cougars will take over at the 41-yard line.
So as we thought, the Titans did go for it there. Thought that they had something that they found a weakness in the Cougars, but the Cougars' defensive front forced him to make a pass that he didn't want to, and the Cougars are going to get an opportunity to see if they can't put a bigger lead in here.
A 14-6 lead for the Cougars. 10-13 to go in the second quarter.
Well, again, the Cougars seem to have a theme here starting from the 40-yard line, and they're ready to go offensively.
This game's certainly looking a lot different than it did last weekend for the Cougars Bantam squad.
Absolutely. The Cougars come out early and often here on the scoreboard, and they look like a whole different team than what I saw last week. And maybe it's just that it was the first game of the season. There were jitters. Maybe they weren't quite prepared yet, but they look like they've done a lot of work this week to fix some of the flaws that they had last week.
Yeah, and they've already matched their offensive output in the scoreboard in one quarter that they did all game in week 1, so a lot more positive so far. Anyway, still a very young football game here this weekend, but a lot more positive so far. Cougars offense going back to work here, up by 8 points. A little swing pass off to that far side, just inside the sideline, and this will be a first down and more to midfield for the Cougars.
It's a 15-yard gain from Malott. Throw a nice little swing pass to the side, and Cougars were able to capitalize on a soft corner over there from the Titans.
Good pass by Malott Bennett. And right at midfield is the football. 1st and 10 here for the Cougars, trying to pad their lead here. 9:30 to go in the second quarter. 14-6. Mike Renier along with James Clark. Jeff Brooks on the camera. Your TV and the Chatham-Kent Cougars. They hand it off to the ground. on 1st and 10. A big run along the near side. Can he turn on the Jets? Down the near sideline.
That's Doxter. He's gone all the way for the score.
Touchdown, Cougars!
What a great play. Just a nice little run around the corner. And he evaded a couple tackles and turned on the wheels, and again made amends for his big penalty that cost him the last time and scored the touchdown for the Cougars. And what a great play.
I don't think anybody now remembers that horse collar tackle penalty against him. He followed that up with a big play right after. And how about him on offense now? A touchdown from Doxter, and it is now a 20-6 lead for the Cougars as they look to add on one more. Does not resemble the same team from last weekend at all, James.
And part of the problem last week, they did get bit with the injury bug. They had about 3 or 4 players go down early, and here's a broken play for 2 points.
How about this? Had 2 for the Cougars.
Gordon Stewart, the holder for the kick, takes the high snap and realizes he's not going to have a chance to put it down, so he just tucked it and ran to the corner for the 2-point conversion. Cougars showing a little bit of versatility here.
22-6 now. Chatham-Kent with a 16-point edge, and 9:08 still to go in this first half.
And that's the key right there, 9:08 still to go. A lot of football left
yeah.
to play. Cougars can't get too excited. They got to go out there and keep playing fundamental football on both sides.
You can't get too elated at the score if you're Chatham-Kent. You can't think this one is over. It is far from it. But you've got to like what you've seen in the opening quarter and a half.
Yeah, if you're a Cougar fan here, you got to think that Coach Andrew Stewart and his staff over there have done a great job in the week here to get prepared for this game, and they're showing it on the field today.
Dodman to boot it away once again. And a line drive fielded right at the 40. And quickly wrapped up once again, Alec Phillips, 24. So a decent starting position again for the Titans.
He caught that ball on a quick line drive, but number 22, Kristen Burgoon, made a great defensive play to prevent him from getting any positive yards on that play, Mike.
So the Cougar D going back to work once again. And the Titans on offense trying to stem the tide a little bit.
Again, just inside the 40-yard line. I think we could do away with kickoffs. Just put the ball at the 40 after every touchdown.
Why not? Why not? Maybe save a little bit of time. It's the way this has been going here in the first half. Under 9 to go in quarter number 2. 22-6 for the Cougars. Titans back on offense. Johnstone back to pass. He's going to go on his 2 feet here. Now he stops to try and pass it, and before he can get that football away, he gets a big loss. He gets taken down. I think they're going to credit that one to
Kristen Burgoon again, making another play there. So quarterback had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide when you're out in the open there as a quarterback.
Good pressure again on the D for the Cougars, and a drop of maybe 6 yards.
This has been a theme for the Titans all afternoon, 2nd and long. Their first down play production hasn't been very solid, but they seem to have found a way to get out of it a couple times. So we'll see what they've got in the playbook for this one.
Johnstone with the snap once again. He'll swing it out to that far side. Pass is caught. And can he get to the line of scrimmage?
There is a flag on the play on the far side.
Some jersey
Not sure
holding.
what's happening. We'll find out. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but maybe not a whole lot more. But we'll see what that flag is over there before we get too excited. The Titans have gotten a little bit predictable on that 2nd and long. They've ran that swing pass almost every time, and I think the Cougar defense and their staff have caught on to that, and they're just flowing like crazy to that side as soon as they get in that situation.
Trying to get the call from the officials here.
Not sure what we got. We got Mr. Dolson coming over to talk to the Cougars to see. It looks like it could be an offside call against the Titans. And they're going to give the Cougars the choice to move them up 5 or decline it and go from there. So looks like the offside, and it is declined by the Cougars.
All right.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down.
3rd down and a long way to go here for the Titans.
It's the old expression, they're on the dance floor, but they can't hear the music, Mike.
That's a giant dance floor. About 17 yards to go or thereabouts here.
Comes that razzle-dazzle reverse look, but the Cougars are not buying it. They're all over this in the backfield. Number 24 looking for some room, and he's brought down about 5 yards short of the first down.
And Phillips was able to turn one quarter, but 17 yards is a lot of real estate to make up. And he got, maybe 12 of those, I
got
think.
A lot of it back, bringing up 4th and 4. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Titans go for it again on 4th down.
Yeah, judging by the field position of the football, close to midfield, I think that's probably the call here, and it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to get a little delay in game. Looks like Joey Doxter for the Cougars is down on a knee for an injury here. He's going to slow down the Titans' thought process here, and we time out for injury.
He's had a pretty good first half. I mean, Doxter had that unnecessary roughness penalty that at the time didn't look all that good for the Cougars, but then he followed that up with a big play immediately after that 15-yard penalty, and then he has the last touchdown that the Cougars have scored.
Yeah. And it looks like, with the injury here, he's going to get up and walk off on his own power, so it doesn't look like the injury is anything serious, and I would expect to see him back in the game pretty soon.
So here we go, 4th down for Oakville at their own 49. They've got about 4 yards to go here to get a fresh set of downs. And they will be on the ground. They'll push it forward. It looks like they'll get enough for the first down. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be an offside on the Cougar defensive line. They lined up in the neutral zone and never moved back. So that's going to be an easy first down for the Titans.
All right, well, they earned it anyway on that run. So that's going to move the chains, and that football will be inside Cougar territory now. And a 22-6 lead for Chatham-Kent.
Offside call against the Cougars is declined. That play will stand.
So they decline the penalty, but the result of the run gives the Titans a first down. Trying to chip their way back into this football game. Quickly back at it once again. And good old number 24 once again getting the assignment. Not a lot there for Phillips. He gets maybe 3.
He was brought down quickly by Christian Burgoon there. Got a couple yards back. It's a name we've heard a lot on the defensive side for the Cougars today. Christian Burgoon's been a pretty busy guy.
He has been doing a good job on the D side. 2nd down and about 7 to go here. Oakville from the Cougars' 52-yard line. And now it's Johnstone dropping back to pass. He's got a guy. Oh, and good coverage. And fairly wide open still was Connor McKinnon. But
Evan Cole stepped up and made a great play. It looked like it was going to be a completion for a first down. At the last minute, Evan Cole just got his hand in there and slapped that ball down.
good D there by the Cougars. That one hits the turf in a 3rd down and 8 situation here for the Oakville Titans.
We'll see if the Titans stay predictable and run the little swing pass here, or if they try something a little bit different to fool the Cougars.
On 3rd down, dropping back to passes Johnstone in the air, and it comes down into the hands of the receiver as it's going to be a 1st down past the 40-yard line as the Titans will move the chains.
That was number 14, Connor McKinnon. What a great play. He was able to get his feet inbounds there, hang on to the ball. So he had a lot of things. He had a defender on him. He had the sideline coming up and had to make the catch. So what a great offensive, athletic play.
And they get the football inside the Chatham-Kent 40-yard line. This drive continues on here for Oakville. Once again, Johnstone looking down the field. Little swing pass along that far side, trying to turn the corner. And doing so successfully is the receiver, Wilczynski.
He's brought down by number 81 from the Cougars, Ryan Grelmore, after looks like about a 7 or 8 yard gain for the Titans.
up to the 30-yard line.
We'll make that. We'll call it a 9-yard gain. Second
Yeah.
and short.
You get a couple of extra yards at the very end. Good effort there by Wilczynski. So 2nd and 1 coming up here from the Cougar 30.
About halfway through the second quarter here, and the Titans are driving.
And John Stone, and that one is a
That is a live
football.
ball. That's a lateral. That should be Cougar football right there. We'll see what the officials say.
Yep,
And it is
it's
Cougar
a
football.
Turnover. A little lateral pass that went awry by John Stone, hits the turf, and the Cougars right on it. And so a drive that looked pretty optimistic if you're on the side of the Oakville Titans. It was looking like it was going down the field and all was well. And now it's a turnover to the Cougars, who catch a big break there, James.
That is a huge play when the quarterback turns and throws a lateral. And there was nobody within 5 yards of him other than green jerseys. And they're lucky the Cougars didn't pick that one up and banter all the way down the field for a touchdown.
The Cougars will take the turnover, however, and they'll start this drive at their own 45, enjoying a 22-6 lead. 5.5 left to go in quarter number 2. See if the Cougars can now take advantage of the turnover. They hand it up the middle. A first down and more. Still on his feet.
That's
and he's away to the
Doxter on
races.
the way again.
All the way down. Touchdown, Cougars.
Cougars.
Look who it is.
Cougars make them pay right away for that error. Joey Doxter comes back in after the injury, and he says, "Hey, Coach, I think I'm fine."
Another touchdown for Doxter. Another 6 points. It's 28-6 for Chatham-Kent.
And the Cougars, again, are just – the crowd here is getting right into this game, and Cougars are making some big plays on both sides of the ball, and we got a great ball game here.
Certainly, if you're a fan of the home side here in Chatham-Kent, 28-6, looking to add some more here. Another high snap, a little bit of a bobble here, certainly a broken play, and now they lift the football high in the air. See how this one turns out. On an extra point, can they get two to the end zone? Yes, they do.
And look who it is. It's number 24, Corin Stewart.
Wow.
Mr. Broken Play himself.
Unbelievable.
I don't think they have that one in the playbook, Mike, where you get the bad snap to the kicker, flips it to the holder, who rumbles in for the 2-point conversion.
I don't think the last 2 extra point attempts have been in any playbook that's ever been written. But somehow they turn an extra point for 1 into 2 points on 2 consecutive attempts.
I think if I'm Coach Stewart, I put that play in the book.
The new play is mess the play up and then go from there. Double your point output. 30-6 now, absolutely in control of the Cougars. The Bantam squad all over the Oakville Titans in this first half. 5:11 to go in the first quarter, or in the first half, I should say. And already a 24-point lead.
It's one of those things as a coach, sometimes when things are going right, it doesn't matter what you do, everything goes right. And when things are going wrong for the Titans, everything goes wrong. It's just the way it goes. The football bounces in this case some days,
The football gods, as they say. Another line drive, good kick by the Cougars, picked up at around the 35-yard line by Oakville, and they'll muscle their way to the 45 before being brought down.
Brought down by a host of Cougars, led by the kicker, Brennan Dodman there, stopping them from getting in the yards, and they're going to change it up a little bit and start the ball on the 45-yard line this time.
Isaac Ramey on the return for Oakville.
Well, the Titans need to rebound after that last possession, throwing the lateral pass backwards, and then Cougars scoring right away on it. So let's see how they come back out, if they bounce back and they stay in this game and keep their heads about them. And
such a promising-looking drive that Oakville had last time, too.
It's a big difference. It could have been a 1-score game, and now it's 3-score game.
A big swing.
And it looks like we've got procedure on the offensive line from the Titans. A couple guys jumped early. Oh, nope, they did call a timeout prior to that happening. So we'll see. Somebody called a timeout. Looks like it's a Cougar timeout. So it looks like we got a Cougar timeout here right before the Titans jumped. So
just a shade under 5 to go in the second quarter. Cougars 30, And the Titans 6. And just a complete 180 showing from what we saw last weekend for the Bantam squad.
Yeah, they look like a different group of players, and maybe scoring that first touchdown on the first offensive play from scrimmage just gave them the confidence they needed. And now that they go out there with the belief that we can do this, and they proved that they can here. They're playing some pretty good offensive football, and the defense is hanging in there and doing what they need to do to keep that lead for them.
And who knows how this changes the season's complexion too, because you went from a 41-14 loss last week in the opener, thinking, oh, maybe this is going to be kind of a long season for the Bantam squad. Now you put in a performance like this. Who knows how 2018 is going to shape up for these guys?
Again, we still have 5 minutes left of the second quarter.
Yep.
There is a lot of football to go here. Looks like a little quarterback sneak up the middle, and they still can't find him.
Up to midfield and into past the midfield there.
Eventually, he was found by Joseph Reimer. He was able to bring him down, but not before he got a 13-yard gain there.
Into Cougar territory, 4:30 remaining before halftime. So Oakville trying it again on this offensive drive after turning it over deep in the Cougar zone last time they had the football. Here's Johnstone rolling to his right, now down the middle of the field, and he overthrows everybody. That was over the head of everybody by a few feet.
We do have a flag in the backfield. Looks like there was a late hit on the quarterback. It looks like the Titans are going to get a first down out of this. Regardless of that, I see their quarterback clapping his hands, so that's exactly what we're going to see happening. It's going to be a roughing the quarterback call going against the Cougars.
A couple of tough penalties against Chatham-Kent here in the second quarter. Didn't hurt them the last time with that unnecessary roughness penalty against Oxtator. But this is another significant penalty against the Cougars. They do have a 24-point lead, but you still don't want to give up that kind of yardage to the opposition.
You never want to give up a big roughing penalty to give a team a first down.
Inside the 40-yard line of the Cougars. Johnstone handing it off, and right there, the front line of the Cougars.
Brennan Dodman was there in a heartbeat.
Phillips had no time to even blink on that one. As soon as he touched the football, down he went. And it comes back about maybe 5 full yards. Good job on the D for the Cougars.
There was definitely missed blocking assignment in the middle of the Oakville line there for Dobbin to come through that quick and that clean to make that play.
Ball back to the 44-yard line of Chatham-Kent. Second and 14, maybe 15 to go here for Oakville. Back to pass once again. Johnstone and a little bit of pressure. Downfield it goes, and it is picked off by the Cougars.
That's Ryan Grelmore with the pick. He's got some wheels. He's moving.
Right
Gets
to
the ball
midfield.
right back to midfield. What a play by the Cougar defense.
Man, oh man, right when Oakville comes up with a couple of big plays or a penalty to help them out, the Cougars come right back with a play of their own to negate everything.
It's getting pretty loud in the stands out in front of us here. I hear somebody hammering on the cowbells down there. The Cougar fans are getting pretty excited.
And the attendance here so far in this young season, really through all of the classes, all of the divisions, very impressive. We've seen some good crowds here.
They got to give support to the Cougar family and friends. They're out here supporting their Cougar teams early in this season.
Great to see. Good atmosphere at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Back on offense, the Cougars on the ground, rumbling along that far side. First down and more.
That's Trenton Blackfield. Blackbird's gonna rumble in for the touchdown.
6
what
more
a great
points.
Play. Trenton Blackbird. Just a simple off-tackle play, hit the edge, and he was gone.
What a game. What a first half for the Cougars. Blackbird, the 6 points, 36-6, the score now.
That's got to be a great feeling. Your first touch of the day as a running back, and you stumble in for 45 yards for a touchdown. What more can you ask for?
What is that you said, James, about everything going right? Like everything going right.
Sometimes that's just the way things go. You could do no wrong.
Well, we're not at halftime just yet, so we still have another half of football to go. But a 30-point lead
Are we going
for
to see
the
the
Cougars.
2-point conversion? We're actually going to get a kick here. We actually got a kick, and it was good, Mike.
We actually got a single point.
I didn't think they had that play in the book still.
Here's the play. Kick it through the uprights. It works, and it's a 37-6 lead now for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. This was once a 7-6 close nail-biter.
I thought it was just going to be an offensive shootout, but the Cougar defense has stepped up and did their part, and the offense of the Cougars has not slowed down. I think they've scored on just about every possession today.
30 consecutive points for the Cougars. And they have blown the doors open on this one. 2:51 to go until halftime. 37-6.
So the Cougars getting set to kick off here, 37-6 with 2:51 left in the first half here, Mike. Wind's blowing pretty good. Let's see where Dobbin decides to put this ball into play.
To a brisk breeze all throughout the afternoon here.
We do have a problem with the officials over there. There we go. We're short a body on the Cougars. We're going to try this again with 12 players on the field.
They recommend that. And the kick from Dodman, it's a little bit of air underneath it, and it comes down, and it's bobbled briefly, but recovered by Oakville, and they get past the 45-yard line to around the 47.
And that will be their best starting field position of the day.
I don't think we've seen a starting position behind the 40 very many times for each side. If we have, it hasn't been very often. 2:47 to go in this first half. And things have just gone from bad to worse in this second quarter for Oakville. They tried again, but down by 31.
Oakville has to find some solution here to the Cougar defense, who's stymied them since their opening drive. They've just been all over the field, just closing holes and hitting hard. Oakville has to find some kind of answer here.
Quarterback John Stone swings off to his left. He has the completion and to the 50-yard line, bringing that one forward. Alec Phillips, but a good tackle at the 50. And it's 24 stopping 24.
Oakville's gone to the well a lot of times on that quick little swing pass, and they haven't gotten a whole lot of yards out of it most of the day. So I'm surprised that they keep going back to that play over and over, Mike.
Well, it's going to benefit the Cougars, and I guess the home side will be all right with it. Second down at about 7 here for Oakville. Pressure on the quarterback. He still gets it away, and he still gets the completion and the first down. Bringing it in, Alec Phillips. That looked like it was going to work out in the Cougars' favor, but somehow it's brought in by Phillips, and he got just enough yardage for the first down, too.
Yeah, Phillips made a great catch there. Norman and Kerr did bring him down, but not before he got the first down. So the quarterback, again, under a lot of duress there, was being hammered by Dodman right as he threw the ball. So that was great concentration on his part as well.
Up to the Cougar 50-yard line, a fresh set of downs for the Oakville Titans. And back to pass and a lot of pressure. Once again, John Stone's going to be brought down right at midfield.
He was brought down by big number 99, Mitchell the Tuna Fortuna.
Nice. That's a perfect nickname for him as well. Right at midfield, a loss of 5 for the Titans.
I had the pleasure of coaching Mitchell when he played some Tyke and Pee Wee football, and he's a great player. He works hard, and it's nice to see him get in the game and make a big tackle there for a loss.
At the 52-yard line, this is 2nd and 12 for Oakville. 2 minutes to go in the first half. They will keep it up the middle.
Again, that quarterback sneak play up the middle, he just drops his shoulder in behind his offensive line, starts running and looking for something, and they might have something there. Every time they've ran that, they got 4 or 5 yards. I might just run that play nonstop.
If he keeps working in that manner. 3rd down and about 7. Now coming up here for Oakville, minute 48 and counting left to go in the second quarter. A huge Chatham-Kent lead, 37-6.
I do see number 24 in the backfield for the Titans, so don't be surprised he gets this ball here somewhere.
John Stone airs it
There
out
to
near
throw.
side. It goes over everybody's head. It was tipped.
Number 42 for the Titans had a chance at it, and then again after that, he tipped it almost right to number 88 to Ben Often, and it went right through his hands as well. So 2 opportunities for the first down and 0 for 2.
That's just how that first half has been going for Oakville.
Again, we talked about how the ball bounces. It's either all good or all bad. There's no in between today.
And depending on what side you're on here this afternoon, it has been definitive. It's been all good so far for the Cougars. And
Oh, we do have a timeout for the Cougars here with a minute 34 left in the first half. Brings us to our sponsors again, Mike. Little shout out to a couple of our sponsors, and as it's getting close to halftime, I am getting a little bit hungry. So shout out to the boys over at Covada's Pizza. They make some great pizza, panzerottis, and just food in general there is great. So if you get an opportunity to go over to 316 St. Clair Street and check out Covada's Pizza.
they're making your stuff up right now. It's in the oven for you. Stanley Insurance on Richmond Street in Chatham with Scott Stanley and the folks over there at Stanley Insurance. Evans Wholesale on Borrowman Drive right off of Richmond Street.
MP
Peach.
Roofing
Yeah.
and Peach Physiotherapy, a couple more great sponsors of the Cougars.
Station you're watching right now, your TV, EnviroClean Car and Dog Wash with 2 locations in Chatham to serve you on Grant Avenue East and Park Avenue East in Chatham too.
Don't forget Formosa's Pro Shop, your one-stop bowling shop over at 100 Kyle Drive South.
Campbell Toyota, Richmond Street in Chatham. They've been a great business and a great support of the Cougars for quite some time now. 296 Richmond.
And we've got EnviroClean Car and Dog Wash over at 336 Grand Ave East and 379 Park Ave East.
Kona Ice, Swain Brothers. Man, oh man, some great sponsors right across Chatham-Kent for this Cougars organization.
Looks
And
like we're ready to play with a minute 34 left in the half, Mike.
domination by the Cougars so far in this game. We still have a full half to go and a 37-6.
4th down look for the Titans. Is it going to be a quarterback sneak again, or they got something else in the bag here? Little
gonna be
pass. Quarterback's going to toss one up down the side, and it is an incomplete pass. It was meant for number 14, Connor McKinnon, but defended well by number 21, Braden Scaparat for the Cougars.
And just like that, the afternoon continues like that for the Oakville Titans, but the Cougars will take it, and they'll take the football as well in their own zone, but still pretty good field position, and still a chance to add some more points with a minute 25 left to go until halftime.
I would think if things continue to go the way they have to this point with everything falling in the Cougars' favor, a minute 28 is an eternity of time for them to put some points on the board.
Just to add on a little bit more, a 31-point lead.
They're just an offensive juggernaut today. They can't be stopped at this point. Titans need to find an answer.
Lod Bennett with the pass along that far side. Is it still a live football?
That was a live ball as well.
And was it taken away?
It's a live ball. It was a lateral backwards pass and picked up by the Titans. So there's the answer.
Oh boy, there it is.
There
that
it
didn't
is.
take long.
One each way.
Yep, we've seen that go the other way too. And it didn't look like the intended receiver knew it was a live ball after he couldn't haul it in on the reception. He just thought it was falling to the turf incomplete.
Thinking at his age, he hasn't had enough experience to realize lateral's a live ball, and just because he touched it doesn't make it dead. So, but the Titans are going to capitalize off this. Got the ball on the Cougar 40-yard line and see if they can't score with 1:21 left in the first half here.
So now Titans have lots of time to put a drive together here. And
a great little screen pass by the Titans. Only picked up about 5 or 6 yards, but it was a great play. Oh, we got a little scuffle between players here. Looks like some of the Cougar players get a little excited after the play. Number 22, Kristen Burgoon, didn't like the way that player came up, but the other Cougar players were quick to pull him back from the pile. And second and short for the Titans here, Mike.
Brady DeVoe on that tackle for the Cougars. Gain of about 7 for the Oakville Titans. And again, they will keep it on the ground right up the middle, trying to get those 3 yards.
Quarterback sneak. Looks like he did get about 3 or 4 yards, so it looks like it's going to be a first down for the Titans with a minute left to go in the quarter here. And we do have an injured Titan on the play, so clock is going to be stopped. Looks like it's number 88 from here for the Titans. I can't quite, 87. Turang Nejhadjili is down on the field for the Titans. The trainers come out and, we got this time stop here, Mike. What else can we say about the Cougars and what they've done to this point in the game?
It's just both sides of the football, and really with the special teams as well. Every facet of the game, the Cougars have just been dominant in this football game. And right when you have a drive kind of like this for Oakville, when it's looking pretty positive for the Titans, the Cougars have just come up big defensively. They've either taken the football away or they've stopped them right when they needed to. So everything is working for the Cougars no matter what side of the ball they're on. And their special teams looking pretty good too. And even when they're going for the extra point after a touchdown, broken plays, they've turned 1 point into 2. So it's been that kind of game.
I think this is a critical drive in the game here. One for the Titans, they got to score going in the half, or the Cougars just to keep their momentum going into the half. I think this is a big drive right here.
Johnstone, the quarterback, dropping back, looking for somebody open downfield. Can't find anybody, so keeps it himself. And that will turn into minimal gain for Johnstone, the quarterback, for the Oakville Titans.
They still have a timeout left on the clock here, so they got about 47 seconds left here. Probably run a play and then call a timeout and see where we go here.
Right back at it, winding the clock back. 38 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Quarterback Johnstone will swing it off to the left, and a completion, but an immediate tackle. A big hit by Corin Stewart. And nowhere to go, the receiver for the Oakville Titans. That was a big defensive play by Stewart.
Great play by the Cougars. They were not fooled by that pass. And as a result of it, one of the Titans went down, and he's going to have to go off the field. He got hit pretty hard there by Stewart.
Third down, 32 seconds left.
Stewart looked like a Mack truck on that play. He just ran him over.
That was a big hit, and now we have a stoppage in play here. Oh, it's one of the Titans is going off, getting a little bit of help going to the sidelines.
Yeah. Well, looks like he's walking off the field, so hopefully he's all right there. And Titans are going to regroup here on 3rd and long, and let's see what they've got. I would expect some kind of pass play going out to the wide side of the field, maybe a pass down the right side possibly. But he's definitely in 4-down territory with 30 seconds left to go. Clock is running.
Quarterback Johnstone dropping back, looking down the field. Now he'll go to his right. He stops to throw it. The ball is up, and it is
incomplete.
Bobbled at the last moment, hits the turf. And 4th down now for the Titans.
So with that, the Titans got to go for it here with 13-7 on the clock here. And 4th down, they've got to find a way to get in that end zone here going into the half if they want to have any chance of getting back into this football game, Mike.
37-6, an amazing half of football for the Cougars. 31-point lead.
And here we go. Clock will start on the snap. We got
quarterback Johnstone down
back,
the field.
Got time to throw. Wide open man in the end.
He's got it.
And it is.
Did he get in?
Just short of the end zone. He's going to get stopped at the 1-yard line with 5.3 seconds left.
But hey, a good play on 4th down. Johnstone to his receiver who hauled it in.
This is where I would expect to see that timeout from the Oakville coach. And that's one yard to go, 5.3 seconds. And we did get that timeout from Oakville here. So during the timeout break here, Oakville's going to try to find a way to have their best play to get that ball in the end zone, Mike.
And they still have a fair bit of time to get into the halftime on a positive note. Down by 31, 5.3 seconds left to go. And the football at the 1-yard line, so it is a huge deficit that Oakville is in right now, but if they can punch it in for the major score, they'll have at least something to build on and talk over for halftime.
Going into half at 37-6 seems pretty insurmountable, but they get another touchdown here, getting to double digits going in the half. That's going to give them a lot more confidence coming back out to start. Oh, here we go. I'm expecting a quarterback sneak, Mike.
It's not a bad call here. We'll see what Johnstone
and
does.
That's exactly what it
there
is.
There you go. Look
and
at that
it's a
call.
touchdown.
Look at that call from Clark. He makes it. And it works for the Oakville Titans. They punch it in for their second major score of the game.
So 12 points on the board. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Titans go for a 2-point conversion here after they missed their first kick.
37-12 now the score for the Cougars.
And it is a 2-point conversion, dropping back to pass, rolling out to the right-hand side. He's got some room to run. He's going to punch it in.
Oh,
no, he gets brought
nice.
down by number 22. Christian Burgoon makes the big stop to take those 2 points away. What a great play by Christian Burgoon. 2.4 seconds left on the clock, too.
So 6 points for the Oakville Titans. They get 12 now. And a 37-12 football game, as they will kick it back off for the Cougars to see what they can do before halftime.
Wouldn't expect to see a lot here at kickoff, and then probably, unless they were to score on the kickoff, that's probably going to be the last play of the half. And we'll go in looking at it's going to be a 37-12 Cougar halftime lead.
That's a pretty good prediction.
Well, we got this pause and play. I'd like to thank Mike for the opportunity to sit here in the broadcast booth with him today in the absence of Mike James, who's on vacation here. So,
Well, you're always welcome.
love to sit here and talk football when I get the chance.
You're always welcome. Even if Mr. James is here, you're always welcome to join us at any time.
Well, here we go. Cougars with the ball. Clock has expired, and it is going to be a 37-12 halftime lead for the Cougars.
He had aspirations going downfield, but he was wrapped up at the 50-yard line. But what a half of football for Chatham-Kent. It was 30 consecutive points for Chatham-Kent, opening up a 37-6 lead, and 6 points at the end for Oakville, but still a long, long way for them to go. 37-12 for the Cougars.
We're going to get our 12-minute halftime break here before we come back with some more exciting second-half football from the Oakville Titans and your home Chatham-Kent Cougars.
Ready for the second half of football here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Mike Renier, James Clark, Jeff Brooks here with your TV. And what a first half for the Cougars in the Bantam Division. A 37-12 lead. Mr. Clark.
And the Cougars are going to get the ball to start the second half to see if they can keep things rolling right along here, Mr. Renier. Here we go.
Good kick by
Stewart
the
with the
Titans. Yeah. Nice return up to the 45-yard line, and Corin Stewart, who's had a complete first half, really on both sides of the ball. He brings the ball to the 45, so another good position for the Cougars.
Yeah, if we had to pick a player of the game right now, it'd be pretty tough between Stewart and going with Doxeter, but I'd have to give the nod to Stewart right now. But the Cougars have played a great game, and here we are, one play into the second half, and we already have Oakville Titan down with an injury.
First quarter, it was close. A 7-6 lead for the Cougars, and then they rattled off 30 consecutive points. Make it a 37-6 blowout, and then a late second quarter touchdown for the Oakville Titans, and this is where we are here at 37-12.
Cougars are up and ready to go. The play is timed in, and the Cougars are ready to start the second half where they left off in the first, I think.
See how their offense comes out of the gate here in this third quarter. The breeze remains brisk here.
Stewart with the ball, rambling around the corner to the right side, gained about 5 or 6 yards, changing direction, and he is going to be stopped just short of a first down there. A nice 8 or 9 yard gain for Corin Stewart to start the second half.
Good vision there for Stewart as he was able to change direction, I think not once but twice, and getting a couple of extra yards from where he might have got from that opening dash.
It's always nice when the play is right in front of us at midfield and we can see some of the athleticism of these young men here.
Good 8-yard pickup for Stewart, and that will bring the football very close to midfield, about the 53-yard line. And once again, they'll hand it off to Stewart, who gets the first down and a whole lot more. He's going to push that pile to the 50-yard line of Oakville.
Another 7 or 8 yards for Stewart, and he just keeps rambling on.
Yeah, the yards that he's got here in 2 quarters plus, pretty impressive. And almost immediately, football comes into the Oakville side of center here, the 50-yard line, and 1st and 10 here for Chatham-Kent.
You were talking about the halftime seemed really fast. I don't think the Titans got enough halftime to make the adjustments they needed to figure out Corin Stewart.
The drive continues out of the shotgun formation, and a little handoff and some room to move up the middle once again. Another impressive job up the middle there. Norman and Kerr getting the football from Malott Bennett, and another impressive pickup there on offense for Norman and Kerr and the Cougars.
Yeah, the Cougars showed a little fake to Corin Stewart, and Norman and Kerr was the beneficiary of that as the Titans really converged on Stewart and left a huge hole for Norman and Kerr to run through.
Good 6-yard pickup for Norman and Kerr. And the football on the 43-yard line as the Cougars again go to the ground, and this time they're not going to get nearly as much success as they handed off to Corin Stewart, and he was wrapped up immediately.
I think that's the first time today that we have seen Corin Stewart not run for positive yards. So I think they're really going to try to converge in on him and take away those inside lanes for him, and if they are going to allow him to run, they're going to force him to go outside.
About a half-yard loss there on that carry for Stewart. And that will set up a 3rd down and 4-yard to go situation here for Chatham-Kent. 9 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
If history's any indicator, Stewart's going to take this ball for a big gain.
They will hand it off to Stewart, and I don't know about the big gain part. He gets, again, wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, and he is denied any gain. And again, he might lose about a half yard there as his ball is back to the 45-yard line. So 4th and 5 for Chatham-Kent.
And again, I don't see the punt team coming out for the Cougars here, so they're in no hurry to turn this ball over. I think they feel they have an opportunity to move this ball regardless of the fact that they got stopped on the last 2 plays.
Yep, take their time in the huddle, get as much time ticked off the clock as they can here, and try to get the 5 yards. 45-yard line of Oakville. And rolling around to his right, and a completion, but not enough for the first down. He's wrapped up again. The receiver, Brady DeVoe, really nowhere to go after the catch, so it's going to be a turnover and downs for Chatham-Kent.
Unfortunately, that was one of those plays for the Cougars coaching staff. Don't think it was the best call on 4th and 5 to throw a pass for 0 yards and expect your guy to run for 5 yards. So, again, it puts a lot of pressure on a player, but, they put a play in, it didn't work, and they move on defensively. They will come in and step up and see what they can do.
And they have the luxury of a 25-point lead as well as we approach the halfway mark of this 3rd quarter. A big defensive stop here would be nice, though, if you are the Cougars. Quarterback Johnstone now for the Titans, rolling off to his left, looking downfield along the near sideline and just underthrown. Intended for his man, number 87, along the near sideline, about a foot underthrown. And it's going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Oakville Titans.
Yeah, it looked like the Cougars put a lot of pressure on the Titans on that play and didn't give the quarterback much of an opportunity to take that ball and pass it down the field.
Under 8 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Johnstone dropping back, and now he flings it off to his right. A completion, and now a race to the far sideline, and being a little bit short of the first down was Alec Phillips, but pretty good.
Yeah, Phillips did rumble for about 5 yards there and to get them within the short yardage situation here to work with on 3rd down.
3rd and 4 coming up now for the Oakville Titans. Still a long way to go as they trail the Cougars 37-12.
Again, as we ended the first half, we said it was imperative that Oakville scored there. And, at this point in the game, we're almost halfway through the second. They have to score every possession if they want to get back into this game. There is no opportunity for them to take a series off.
And score majors, too.
Score and score often.
And a lot of trouble for Johnstone. He gets that pass away, and it is a completion, evading a tackle and heading down the field past midfield.
That's number 87, touring Nathaniel Holy with the big first down for the Oakville Titans. And, quarterback was under a lot of pressure. Looked like a screen pass, but got it off, and they rambled for about 15 yards, like you said, for a first down. Cougars were fooled there, I think.
That was a play that had to happen if you're the Oakville Titans to keep this drive going and have any shot to get back into this football game. Now they keep it on the ground right up the middle and a few yards on 1st and 10. They probably pick up maybe 4 yards there.
Looks like they ran that quarterback sneak again and got a few yards, but it wasn't without a cost. Looks like one of their offensive linemen got taken out in the play and a little bit slow to get up there, and that's another injury for the Titans. You can't afford to have guys going down every 4 or 5 plays. You're going to run out of bodies to put in.
So an injury timeout here, just a shade under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And good to see the Titan up under his own power and walking off to the sideline. A 37-12 lead for the Cougars in this Bantam matchup against the Oakville Titans. Cougars trying to even up their record at 1-1 in this young season. Both games so far at home before they head off on the road. Johnstone, the quarterback, back to pass in a little bit of pressure. He gets the pass away, but he fires it off into the sideline into the Cougars.
Looked like a great catch by one of the Cougar coaches over there on the sideline, but unfortunately for the Titans, he's wearing the wrong color jersey.
And unfortunately for the Cougars, it doesn't count as an INT. So third down coming up. 3rd and about 6. 5:39, and the clock back in motion once again. 5.5 to go in quarter number 3.
Titans are desperate to get a score on this drive here. I tell you, they really need to get something going here in this half.
Johnstone dropping back, surveying the situation. Some pressure. He gets the pass away, and he gets the completion down that far sideline. Still on his feet as a receiver. And it was that Rosati who brought it in. And Carson Rosati, number 97. And that was a big, big gain and a huge play for the Titans.
Cougars look like they got caught on their heels a little bit this first offensive possession for the Titans the second half, and they're getting marched down the field pretty good. Looks like we're going to get a 1st and goal from the 10 or just outside. Looks like it will be a 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's, I think,
it's
right on the
close.
10. Yeah, very, very close.
Quarterback for the Titans out there barking out instructions. Drops back, looking for a receiver. He's in trouble again. Broken play, and he's going to run it in for a score himself.
Touchdown for Johnstone and the Oakville Titans. They needed that one. And it is now a 37-18 game.
And the Titans are just chipping away at that lead, much like we saw in the early game where the Pee-wees for Chatham chipped away at an early lead, and now the Titans are trying to do that here in the Bantam game.
So back-to-back touchdown scores here for the Oakville Titans. They have had the last 12 points of this game now.
Again, looks like they are going to kick the ball. No, they're going to go for 2.
Johnstone rolls off to his right.
Here's that swing pass, and the Cougars will have none of that.
Nice swat away there by the Cougars, and getting his big mid on it was Evan Cole, number 23, so he makes sure that ball falls to the turf.
That's
And
the
it's
third time they've went to that look where they swing it out to the right and then try a little pitch pass from the back downfield. And the Cougars have want nothing to do with that. All 3 times they've been fortunate and stopped it. So that makes it a 37-18 lead for the Cougars here. They'll get the ball back and see what they can do for their second possession of the second half.
So still a 19-point edge for the Cougars. But 12 straight points for the Titans now as they have a little bit of momentum. 4:21 to go in this third quarter. Cougars will get the ball back. Still a stiff breeze here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Been an overcast day for the most part. A couple of strong showers coming through earlier.
Showers are gone, but it's still been overcast the rest of the day, cooled things down, and hasn't affected the action out on the field. The action is hot on the field.
No, it's been a good day of football on this back half of a doubleheader as the kick now will.
That's going to be a penalty for kicking the ball out of bounds for the Titans. Cougars are going to get a couple choices here. They can take the ball where it went out of bounds. They can back them up 5 and have them kick again, or they can take the ball up at the 45-yard line. Or the 40-yard line, sorry. So lots of choices for the Cougars here. Looks like they're going to opt to take that ball at the 40-yard line.
And that's where it has been the starting point of the drive for the most part, really for both teams in this football game, around that 40-yard line.
Yeah, starting field position hasn't been an issue for either team. It's what they've done with it after.
And you can tell by the score how that has gone for both sides, 37-18 game. Malad Bennett will hand it off to the running back. Some big moves up the middle, and he's gone.
He's gone.
That's
Trenton Blackbird again with the big score. 2 touches, 2 40-yard, 50-yard runs, 2 touchdowns. What more could you ask for?
Whoa, Trenton Blackbird right up the middle, all the way down the field for a 70-yard scamper down the field. And the Chatham-Kent Cougars answer immediately with 6 points of their own and a 43-18 lead now.
I'm thinking if I'm the Cougar coaches, every time Trenton Blackbird touches the ball, he's good for 50 or more and a touchdown. Why give it to anybody else? Just feed him the ball.
He's gone. Small sample size, but why not? 2 big scores for Blackbird, 43-18 as the Cougars look to add at least one more here.
The Cougars answer right away to that Titan touchdown. They'll have none of that.
High snap, but it's brought back down. And one more point on the board. The extra point is good for the Cougars. 4 minutes left to go. And a 44-18 lead now for Chatham-Kent as they get that score right back. And they even add one to their lead as that extra point for them was good.
The Cougars enjoying a 26-point lead there. Been a lot of big scoring plays today, too. Haven't been short yardage play. A lot of them have been big, dramatic, exciting plays on both sides of the ball. We'll see what the Titans have dialed up for this series for us, Mike.
Yeah, it's been a good day for the Cougars. And lining up for the kick once again, Brennan Dodman. From the 45, he gets another good boot away here and falls at the toes of one of the return men for Oakville. And a couple of yards on the return, past the 40-yard line.
Surprise, we're going to start this possession right around the 40-yard line, just inside of it.
That's right. And like your earlier suggestion, just place it around the 40 and away you go.
I could have saved us a lot of time today, Mike.
A few minutes anyway.
Oh, look at that. It's right on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's right. Right on the 40. Thought it got a couple of yards past, but that's where they place it.
Both teams starting this quarter with scoring possessions, so we'll see what happens as the Titans come back out here.
Pretty much a complete game here by the Cougars. Clock ticking away, 3:40 to go in quarter number 3. Oakville trying to answer back again from their own 40. This time they elect to hand it off to the running back right up the middle. Nowhere to go. Maybe a couple of yards at the very most.
Yeah, the Titans tried something a little bit different. They just tried to dive the ball right up the middle that play. A play that I don't think we've seen from them since the first quarter. But the Cougars were quick to close it down, and that's probably the reason why they haven't run that play is that it's just not there.
No, Alec Phillips with the assignment there. He does pick up 2, so 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Oakville Titans. The breeze not letting up, but we're seeing a bit more blue sky now. And Johnstone gets the football back. Little razzle-dazzle, but this is not fooling the Cougars whatsoever. Down goes.
The Titans went deep to the well there on a little tailback toss back to the quarterback for the old flea flicker, and the Cougars had nothing to do with that.
Nope.
They were not fooled at all, and they stuffed that play for a loss in the backfield.
Johnstone goes down, and that backs up the football to behind the 35-yard line to the 34. So now we've got 16 yards to make up if you're the Oakville Titans. So 3rd and 16 your situation here.
The Titans have tried about 3 or 4 different trickery plays against the Cougars today, and the Cougar defense has been pretty solid at staying home and hasn't been fooled.
Johnstone backs up, looks down the field, heaves it in the air down that far sideline.
It's picked off by the Cougars.
Intercepted, and the
Number
Cougars.
22, Kristen Burgoon, grabs that ball and rumbles for the interception the other way and gives the Cougars great field position at the Titan 40-yard line.
That was quick for Oakville.
45-yard line, sorry.
Turn it back again. Under 2 to go in this 3rd quarter. And more offense coming up here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars.
I'm going to give you 3 names, and you tell me who's going to score the next touchdown.
All right.
Is it going to be Stewart, Doxeter, or Blackbird? Those are your choices. Multiple choice, my friend.
think Stewart. I think it's Stewart's turn.
Stewart's turn?
Yeah, I think
Fair
it's
enough.
Stewart, yeah. Because I think Doxtator and Blackbird both have 2 touchdowns, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Stewart has 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions.
Okay, well, there you go. I still pick, I think Corin Stewart gets the next score. Nice little pass play along that far side. Did he get his arms on
Incomplete,
it?
no. He's saying it hit the ground.
All right. So incomplete brings up 2nd and 10 here for Chatham-Kent. And it's at the 48-yard line in Oakville territory. Minute 44 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Stewart with the ball. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's got a little bit of room to run. He's stumbling, bumbling, and running, but he ran out of real estate over there by the Titan bench there, Mike.
Yeah. And let's see how much he was able to get. Was he able to get enough? Not sure if he was able to get enough to move the chains. We'll have to see. Kind of hard to see from across the way.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit short. The official on this side is unsure whether or not it's a first down. But officials are having a little conversation over there, and it looks like it is going to be a first down.
Well, they got enough. Good stuff. Good run.
The line judge on the far side was a little slow to get the spot for us, but we got it. And while all that was happening, the sun came back out here, Mike, and it's feeling pretty nice here on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, this might warm things up just a little bit. Good to see the sun back. 35-yard line for the Cougars. Minute 22 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the pass is complete along the near side, and some yards after the catch, hauling that one in. Jonathan Sanderson with, I believe, his first reception of the afternoon.
It's a name we haven't heard today, but it's nice that the Cougars are spreading the wealth around a little bit here in this game. It's going to bring up 2nd and less than a yard for the Cougars here from about the 25-yard line. So,
just a methodical move of the football down the field here. After that turnover, gives the Cougars the football back. 44 seconds and counting left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and a whisker to go.
Stewart alone in the backfield behind quarterback here. Oh, little end-around play. Went nowhere. Oh, it looked like He went down pretty hard. Looked like there was a face mask, but there is no call from the official, so that's going to bring up a loss of about 3 yards.
Norman and Kerr had nowhere to go off of that handoff from Malott Bennett. So a 3rd and 3 coming up here for the Cougars, still in good field position.
So Malott Bennett's got the play. He's got the team lining back up at the line of scrimmage here, and let's see what they've got in for us here. It is a run play to Stewart. He's got some real estate on the last play of the quarter. He's going to get the first down. About a 7-yard gain for Corin Stewart.
And another great way to end off the quarter here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. The signal now will say that's the end of the 3rd. We'll swap sides. And pretty close as you can get to a complete 3 quarters here for the Cougars with a 44-18 lead on Oakville.
Yeah, they've done just about everything right that they could do today. And again, we can't say this enough. What a different team we're seeing this week than we did a week ago.
Things are coming together very, very well, and they've had the confidence right from the opening kickoff here. They had a good start to this game, and they've just kept this thing going. Everything's been going right. They've won the turnover battle.
Not trying to jinx the Cougars, but we haven't had any Cougars go down with injuries today, unlike last week where they had 6 or 7 guys go down and they were scrambling to get bodies in there. So maybe that's the big difference. A little bit of athleticism, no injuries, and all the right calls at all the right times.
Yeah, just things have fallen into place here for Chatham-Kent through 3 quarters, and they enjoy a 26-point lead, 44-18. And the Cougars...
The Chatham coaches can make no wrong decisions. Maybe they should buy a lottery ticket.
Maybe. The jackpot's increasing here. And
Stewart with the ball. He's going to cut that corner. He's got a little bit of room. He refuses to go down. And I got to give you credit, Mike Rendy. You called that. Corin Stewart with the touchdown. His 3rd of the day. What a great run by Stewart. 20-yard scamper, evading 3 or 4 tackles.
Maybe I should get one of those lottery tickets if I called that correctly.
Or at least give me the numbers there, Mr. Psychic.
We'll go in on one together. How's that?
Sounds good.
Another major for the Cougars. How about 50-18? Corin Stewart.
And with a full quarter to go, I don't think they're done just yet. I'm thinking a couple guys who only have 2 touchdowns are going to say, how come Corin got 3? I want another chance.
Well, you gave me those 3 names, so those other 2 now have to step up, and they have to.
Fair enough. I did give you 3 names. Now the list is down to 2.
We'll talk about that maybe next offensive possession, have more predictions.
We got a penalty on the play here. Looks like we've got either a procedure or an offside. They've blown it dead, so I'm guessing it's an offensive procedure call going against the Cougars. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty, whether they decide to enforce it here or on the kickoff. There's
Kickoff it is.
Oh, they're saying it was offside on Oakville. And the Cougars have elected to take that on the kickoff, so they'll lengthen the field a little bit more for the Titans to go.
51-18. The Cougars have now once again blown this game wide open. Just 18 seconds into the 4th quarter, looking to even up their record on the young season of 1-1.
A tale of 2 teams from a week ago. The scoreboard looks almost like a mirror image of last week.
So at 51-18, it looks like both coaches have agreed to have a running clock here, Mr. Clark.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad thing with the score being what it is. I mean, it's one of those things you don't want to get players injured at this point in the game when that's pretty much already decided by now.
With less than a quarter to go. Good coverage there by the Cougars to bring down the returning man for the Oakville Titans behind the 40-yard line. So that's where Oakville's going to start off this drive, down 51-18, and that clock's going to go down a lot faster than it has been up to this point.
Yeah, it looks like at this point in the game, we're seeing a lot of different Cougars coming in on defense this series. So a great opportunity for Coach Stewart and Coach Skaparap to bring in some of the players who don't get to see the field as much, an opportunity to get in there and show what they can do.
from their own 40-yard line.
Oh,
Titans
again, a
keep
little
it up the
trickery from the
ground.
Titans.
Past midfield, brought down to the Cougars' 52-yard line. A good pickup on 1st and 10.
And guess who brought him down on the Cougar defense? Again, number 22, Christian Burgoon, whose name we have mentioned more than a few times this afternoon on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep, he has had a good time this afternoon. Alec Phillips on that big carry.
And he may have saved a touchdown there. He was the last line of defense.
From the Cougars' 52. Johnstone dropping back, looking downfield. Now he'll scamper with the ball himself, near side, first down and more, past the 40-yard line. And he's forced out of bounds, so keeping the ball himself, and a big play there by the quarterback, Johnstone.
He's had a couple nice runs this afternoon. He's shown the ability to tuck the ball and find some positive yards for his team when nothing else is there. So
down to 9:42 and counting remaining in this fourth quarter. 51-18, a complete game all the way through here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. And these Bantams will go to 1-1 in the season. Once again, they'll hand it off to the running back, trying to find a seam up the middle, but nowhere to go for Phillips that time.
yeah, again, Phillips trying to go up the middle, and the middle just hasn't been there today. And the Cougar defense in the middle, their defensive tackles and interior linebackers have been pretty stout there and stopping any runs from going through there.
Under 9 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, here comes the reverse, and the Cougars stayed home for it. And they made a nice play to stop that reverse for minimal yards, 3 or 4 yards on the gain, maybe a little bit more. But
I'm going to mark it as a 5-yard pickup on the ground, but third down coming up here now for Oakville.
Need a 5 on that play and break about third down and 5 for Oakville on the Chatham-Kent 35 differences.
it's a great way for the Cougars to end their 2-game homestands, hit the road next week with a little bit of positive.
Yeah, and make up for that lopsided loss last week. And they're looking like they'll get a lopsided win here. And fourth down now coming up after about a 2-yard gain on the ground. Man, maybe a 3-yard gain. So 4th and 2 coming up
You got to
for the
believe
Titans.
that the Titans are going to go for it. They haven't punted one all day, so I don't think this will be the time where they're going to start.
Likely not. Likely not. Down by 33.
Last time we had this, I think it was a quarterback sneak, but they haven't varied too much from that look. As tight as they are, here it comes. Yep. Quarterback sneak for a first down, and a few more.
And the pile comes down after about a 5-yard pickup. So 1st and 10 here for Oakville. Down to 7:20 remaining in this football game.
You know, the game being out of hand at 51-18, but the Titans are showing a little bit of pride here and trying to punch in for at least one more score here, and they're playing for pride at this point in the game.
Trying to finish off strong.
We got a timeout here. Timeout for the Cougars.
So this will move the Cougars to 1-1 on this very young season after this one. They will move to Halton Hills. They've got actually 3 road games after this one. Halton Hills on the 9th of June. They'll be in Toronto to take on Junior Argos on the 17th. And then they move on to Waterloo to take on the Preds. They won't be back here until July 8th.
That is a long road trip to go on. 3 games away from home after a 1-1 start. So we'll see where the Cougars go when they get back home in late June or early July, and see what their record is when they come home.
Yeah, but their payoff is 2 of the last 3 of the regular season will be at home. So that's
And then they'll finish on the road the last game of the season against the Hamilton Hurricanes, I believe.
That's right. Hamilton will be it in July the 21st. So after this, 3 in a row on the road for the Bantam. So we'll see how that will shake down for them. But it's going to be a positive heading to Halton Hills, taking on the Crimson Tide after this big win to even up their record 1-1 after a huge win over the Oakville squad.
Gotta love the fans. Fans here in the stands, regardless of the score, they are supporting their team.
Absolutely, on both sides. Johnstone, the quarterback, going deep towards the end zone. He had a man open, but
just
overthrew
a little
it.
overthrown. He was looking for number 14, Connor McKinnon, but just couldn't hook up. The ball was a beautifully thrown ball, but just a little bit deep and out of his reach.
That was a nice throw. 6.5 to go in this fourth quarter. 51-18, the lead for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. The Bantams going to 1-1.
I'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Titans on their 28-yard line here.
Quarterback Johnstone rolling off to his right. He's going to keep it. He's got some room to move. He's
going
to the end zone.
He's in.
Touchdown, Johnstone.
We talked about his athleticism earlier, and he showed it off there with a nice 27-yard scamper for a touchdown. So he's had a couple boot runs for touchdowns this afternoon. Again, playing for some pride and not willing to give up, and just a great athlete.
He saw that one happening right off the get-go there. 5:54 to go in this fourth quarter. That will make it a 51-24 game now. Going for 2. Johnstone running out to this side, and he's got his man. Hauls it in for the 2-point conversion. Alec Phillips.
Phillips gets back on the board here with a nice reception there. That was a strong thrown ball to the corner, and Phillips had to really make a real athletic move to come up and grab that ball for the 2-point conversion.
51-26 now your score.
Just under 6 minutes left to go. Clock is running this afternoon now, and Cougars will get the ball back here, assuming there's no onside kick by the Titans.
Lots of offense. Both sides of the football here this afternoon. 77 combined points. And we still, as Clark mentioned, we have 6 minutes of football left to go.
We did say early in the game that we thought it was going to be a shootout. We didn't realize it was going to be one-sided early, but 77 points is a lot of points for a football game.
That's right. And still a couple of possessions left to go at least.
We may see 1 or 2 more before we're done.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all. As the Titans will kick it off back to Chatham-Kent. And a little
onside kick going to go out of bounds for a penalty, and Cougars are going to get that ball at about their 52-yard line to start this drive.
So again, excellent field position to kick off this drive here for Chatham-Kent. Not sure what's happening here. The Titans did kick the ball out of bounds, but looks like the Cougars maybe made the wrong choice and chose to take the ball at the 40 instead of where it went out of bounds. But regardless of that, either way, the Cougars are going to still get great starting position here at the 40-yard line. Cougars back to work on offense. Pass along that far side is caught at the 45-yard line. And maybe they didn't make it as far as the 45. So it picks up 3, maybe 4 yards on that short pass. So 2nd and 6 coming up now.
Well, both teams have had some positives today, and they both have some things that I'm sure they'd like to work on this week at practice. But Cougars have been rolling right along here and not showing any signs of stopping here. Here's your friend Doxter with the ball. It looks like he could bust one here. A great gain for about 20 yards for Joey Doxter.
2 touchdowns.
2 long touchdowns.
2 very long touchdowns as he gets into Oakville territory. Who knows? Maybe he'll get a third. 4.5 left to go here. And
yeah, but if he got a third,
down.
Trenton Blackbird would be upset that he didn't get his third.
He might have another chance too. You never know. And this is going to go backwards.
There was a reason where there was a big gain there. Somebody opened up a hole that shouldn't have been there for him.
So that negates that play.
So that'll make it 2nd and 16 for the Cougars here after the penalty. They're going to drop back to pass, but
Malott Bennett.
Sacked for a loss is Malott Bennett.
Down he goes. So this backs up the football even further now with 3:40 left.
I'm going to bring it up 3rd and 18.
Cougars have the ball 3rd down at their own 32-yard line.
Now, the result of this game is certainly not in question, but defense coming up pretty large in this series of plays here for Oakville. Playing right to the very end as they keep it on the ground. This is a big run here for the Cougars, and Doxter.
Doxter for about 10, 11 yards there to shorten up the 4th down. But I have a feeling we may see a punt from the Cougars in this scenario.
Well, with a giant lead like this and 3 minutes left to go, under 3 to go, it's probably what will be happening here, but certainly not something we have seen very much of today at all.
I stand corrected. Quarterback Malott Bennett is coming back into the huddle.
Oh, wow.
That's a surprising turn of events, in my opinion.
In this giant lead here. But they'll keep this drive going.
It will be a run for no yards. Oh, he's still on his feet. And that may have been a mistake by the Cougars, giving up 10 yards on that 4th down.
Yeah.
And Titans are going to get some great starting field position deep into the Cougars' end at the 30-yard line and looking to score maybe one more before they get out of the game here.
Clock is still winding down here, just a shade over 2 minutes to go in this game. 51-26, the Cougars with a big lead. And they'll take a 1-1 record for a 3-game road trip starting next weekend.
And regardless of the last 5 minutes of play, I don't think the Cougars are upset with anything they've seen today. They came out and they did pretty much everything they had planned and prepared for. So I think the Cougars are happy overall with all 3, offense, defense, and special teams today.
Yeah, I don't think they have a lot to talk about negatively after this one. And try and get over 500 on the road next week. John Stone back to pass now for the Titans, trying to find the end zone. And
we do have an defensive pass interference there. Defensive player ran right into him there. Looks like that's number 20 for the Cougars. Trayvon Smith ran into him, and that's going to get a 15-yard penalty and bring up a 1st down for the Titans.
As McKinnon was the intended receiver. 1 minute to go in this game.
So that'll bring the ball to the 15-yard line for the Titans. With 45 seconds left to go, Mike, what do you think they've got left in the bag of tricks?
Well, I think they're going to go to the end zone right here. They're going to pass it.
You're not thinking quarterback keeper for a boot?
No, I don't think so. They're going to pass it near side of the end zone. No, maybe far
swing
side.
Pass, and he's going to look for the edge.
Turning the corner, and will he get in?
Yes,
is
he
in
does.
for the touchdown. Scampering in,
And there
Alec
are flags
Phillips.
at the end of the play. Looks like the Cougars have hit the quarterback late on top of that. Looks like number 24, Corin Stewart, was in there and maybe took a late shot at the quarterback after he got rid of the ball. But regardless of what happened The Titans did get the touchdown score in there prior to that penalty.
That will make it a 51-32 game now. Not giving up at all, the offense of the Titans, as they get a late game touchdown here. And within 19 points.
Yeah, it looks like the penalty against the Cougars was an objectionable conduct call against Corin Stewart. He may have had a few extracurricular words to say to the quarterback after he threw the ball, and the officials didn't like it very much.
Extracurriculars will get you all the time.
So 24 seconds left, and the Titans looking to go for 2 points here, I believe. Quarterback is still in there in the shotgun position. Trying to get up to 34 points on the board here. No, they are going to kick the extra point.
Up and through.
There we go, 33-51. Cougars lead with 24 seconds left. I think we can safely say this game is in hand for the Cougars, and they're going to walk away with the win.
1-1. Halton Hills will be their next opponent on the road. They'll kick off a 3-game road trip next weekend, and they won't be back here. The Bantam squad won't be returning back home until the second weekend in July. So it'll be a while before they're able to play at home once again. But after 2 straight at home to kick off the season, 1-1 is certainly not too shabby. Certainly considering how they played today. Just an amazing game for the Cougars. And they're going to kick this off here.
Maybe see a little magic, maybe see another onside kick from the Titans just to finish out, or maybe they kick it deep and just finish the game and are ready to get back on the bus and head home.
Could be one of those two. What do you think? I think it's actually going to be a little squib kick.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
You've been pretty solid on the predictions this afternoon.
Well, one.
I gave you 3 choices.
That's true. 24 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter in the game. 18-point edge here for the Cougars. They put up 51.
And it is an onside kick. Cougars pick it up, number 88, and he's going to rumble the other way for a few yards to the 40 inside the Titan territory, and that's going to run the clock down for us, and that could very well be the last play of the game, Mr. Renier.
Clock under 7 seconds to go, and I think, both teams are just going to say good game and see you later.
So with a running clock here, that was the last play of the game. And again, James Clark here along with Mike Renier. I'd just like to say thanks for having me out today. And Mike, always my pleasure.
Mr. Clark, it was great to work with you, and I'm sure this won't be the last time this season we'll have the chance to do that. So, no, it was great to call a couple of games with you today. And we saw 2 very good football games at the Pee-wees. They made it a close one at the end of that football game. And this one, a fairly dominating game. I think it was not as close as the 51-33 score would indicate here for the Bantams.
But what a great afternoon of football. What other things would you rather be doing on a Sunday afternoon than watching football?
Exactly. And it was, before the last hour or so, it was kind of rainy and windy, and so we saw everything with the weather here today. But it is a Bantam win here for the Cougars. They moved to 1-1 and now 3 games in a row on the road before they return back home in early July. So 51-33, the Bantam Cougars win this one over Oakville. On behalf of James Clark and Jeff Brooks on the camera, my name is Mike Renier. One more time, a big win for the Bantam Cougars on your TV.